Welcome to another video. In this video I am going to explain how to solve a famous Leetcode problem. This problem has been asked by many companies in their interviews. I hope that you will become confident in solving such problems after learning how to solve this problem. Let's understand the problem. We will be given an array of integers and we have to find out what is the minimum length of the subarray for which sum of its elements is greater than or equal to given target. I know it sounds a bit complicated. Let's break down the problem statement. Whenever an array is given, we can create subarrays from the given array. Subarray refers to continuous segments of a given array. Subarray length means number of elements in that subarray. If we calculate the sum of the elements of a given subarray and if that sum exceeds the target, then that is a valid subarray according to the given conditions. We have to find the minimum length of the subarray which satisfies this condition. From the given numbers, we have to create subarrays and we need to return the minimum length of the subarray for which sum of its elements is greater than or equal to given target. One way to solve this problem is we can create subarrays, all the subarrays, and then we can calculate sum of those subarrays, and then if it is greater than or equal to the given target, then we can consider that length, and if that is a minimum length, then we can return that minimum length. For going by this approach is time consuming because we have to generate all 2 power n subarrays and then we have to calculate sum of those subarrays and then we need to compare it with a global minimum. Instead of that, what we can do is we can follow a 2-pointer approach. Let me explain 2-pointer approach with the code itself. First, we will keep a left position. Initially it will be 0 and then we will keep a right position. It will also point to the first element which is 0. And then we are going to declare a variable which is going to hold minimum subarray length. I am going to call it as minimum sub length, and this should be initialized to a maximum value. In this case, the length of the subarray can vary from 1 to 10 power 5 because that will be the maximum value of nums.length. So what we can do is we can initialize it to 10 power 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have initialized it to a maximum value, and then what we are going to do is then we are going to expand this window. Then one more variable that we need here is current sub sum, and we are going to initialize it to 0. And as long as our right pointer is within the boundary, that is nums.size, we are going to include that number to our window. So current sub sum plus equals to nums of right. Now we have added one element which is pointed by the right index to our current subarray sum, and now we will check while our current sub sum is greater than or equal to target. So what we are going to do is we will try to remove the elements from the left of that subarray, but before removing it we have to update minimum sub length if possible. Minimum sub length will be equal to minimum of current value that is holding, that is minimum sub length, and the current window length that can be calculated by right minus left plus 1. And then what we are going to do is we are going to remove an element from the left side of the window. So left current sub sum will be minus equal to nums of left, and then we are going to increment the left. One more thing that we have to keep in mind is when we are at an index pointed by the right and we don't want to remove beyond that right index, so we have to check one more condition here, that left should be less than or equal to right, and then we will continue with the incrementing right, and after doing it for all the elements, then we are going to return minimum sub len. Let's run this solution and check whether it works for initial test cases. Yes, the first two cases are passing, but for the last case the answer should have been 0, but we are getting 10 power 6. So we have to check before returning if minimum sub len is still 10 power 6. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If this is the case, if minimum sub length is still 10 power 6, then that means we didn't find a subarray which is going to satisfy this particular condition. So then at that time we have to return 0 instead, because that is what is mentioned in the problem statement. For that case we will return 0, otherwise we are going to return minimum sub len. Let's submit this solution and check whether it passes all the test cases or not. Yes, as you can see here, this solution is passing all the test cases. I hope you like this solution, and if you are interested in learning more about other data structures and algorithm related problems, please check out other videos from my channel. Thanks for watching this video.